no están solas, por más que se sientan isolated o separadas, que el mundo no las entiende, que las personas a su alrededor no las entienden, no están solas. Mi invitación sería siempre a que sigan escuchando esa voz interna, porque esa voz interna sabe mucho más que las voces en el exterior, y muchas veces es como decimos en inglés, annoying, que molesta mucho esa voz, pero no es que moleste, es que simplemente quiere que tú sigas esa voz y que tú te dejes llevar por esa voz, porque esa voz ya sabe cuál es tu camino, cuál es el andar y cuál es el propósito que tu alma tiene guardado para ti. Ese sería mi mensaje. No estás sola, no estás sola, no estás sola. Escucha tu voz, escucha esa voz. ¿Y cómo llegué aquí? Llevo, yo creo que más de un año siguiendo la escuela en el chat de Telegram, y siempre me pareció como muy interesante, muy alineado a muchas de las cosas que quería manifestar en mi vida. Y así es como llego aquí a Perú, con una invitación que tú hiciste en el chat de Telegram para este journey, pero yo lo había manifestado desde enero. En enero ya yo había visualizado que yo quería hacer un viaje este año a o Perú o México, Tulum. Y eso fue lo que pedí de regalo de cumpleaños. Pedí dinero para cualquiera de estos dos viajes que me alimentaran cuerpo, mente y alma. Y aquí estoy. Antes de llegar aquí a Perú, tenía mucha incertidumbre en el sentido de hacia dónde se iba a mover lo que es mi profesión, lo que trabajo, porque trabajo con mujeres, precisamente este tema del divino femenino, pero sabía que me estaba quedando como corta y que yo vine para más a este espacio físico. Y algo me dijo, este journey en Perú te va a dar la claridad que necesitas para llevar tu medicina a estas mujeres que quieres ayudar, y próximamente a hombres también. Sin duda alguna, mi pureza. Mi pureza que me fue arrebatada, pudiera decir, a mis 5 años, y aquí la sané. Aquí sané lo que es esa pureza que no la había visto, que pensé que no era posible recobrarla nuevamente, que me iba a seguir sintiendo sucia, dañada, con vergüenza. Esa pureza la sané aquí. La sané aquí, y es la medicina que voy a llevar ahora al mundo. Mucho más amor. Yo entendía que mi amor propio estaba en un nivel muy saludable, pero con esta pureza mucho más amor, mucha más aceptación, compasión por esa niña que perdió esa pureza en ese momento, mucha más claridad. Sentí gratitud por ese momento, porque es lo que me está llevando a donde estoy ahora y a ayudar a otras mujeres a sanar y a ver la pureza en ellas, que muy seguramente no la están viendo como yo no la estaba viendo. Esa pureza en el amor, esa pureza en la sexualidad sagrada, en la intimidad sagrada. Esa pureza es posible recobrarla, y eso es lo que estoy sintiendo, eso es lo que estoy viviendo. Le diría que si este mensaje que están escuchando o cualquiera de los mensajes que escuchan en la escuela les resuena, aunque sea un poquito, lo sienten en el cuerpo, lo sienten en el alma, lo sienten como que me gustaría experimentar o me gustaría saber un poquito más, no lo duden. No lo duden. Sigan el llamado, sigan el caminar y aventúrense. Con toda la confianza, sin ninguna expectativa, aventúrense. Sería mi mensaje.
Gia.
Gia.
Gracias, mi amor. Gracias.
Con todo el amor.
Qué lindo.
Aloha uhane nui. With love, I welcome your greatness. I'm Sophia, and this is Ailani. And the Sacred Women's School and New Earth Medicine Woman program totally transformed my life. This is my third baby boy, and I didn't know the third would be possible. And my older boys, Michael and Phoenix, 16 and 11. When I first met Maliokalani in the Sacred Women's School, it was 2020, right before the pandemic, and I had my boys. I was a single mom, and life was very busy. I had a 15-year massage and energy work practice. I had 2 different offices. I was driving them to school, and when the pandemic hit, I welcomed the pause. I was so grateful. It literally felt like a shift to be able to anything was possible in that time period of that great shift for me. I just remembered thinking, how could I sustain this nonstop busy life, driving and not really grounding? And what I found was that there were more wounds, more wholeness to feel and look at, and more truth to step into regarding my path, and many more medicines to be revealed. So the Sacred Women's School began April of 2020, and I joined that first. And the one thing, my limiting paradigm where I was living in as a healer, was that I had to do it alone. Now, I always navigated with spirit in my work, and things always seemed to work out as a very spiritual person I am. However, the one healing that I hadn't received yet was the gift of sisterhood. And that the more we reveal, the more I reveal, the more I heal. And the more I heard other women's stories and hearing their experiences, I saw the reflection and the connection, that we were all weaving together. And through the new moon ceremonies, the full moon ceremonies, and even the lessons on the Sacred Women's School, I started doing the ceremonies myself too. And as I slowed down in the pandemic, I dove into a self-care practice that I had never experienced before. And when I decided to embark on the New Earth Medicine Woman program in the fall of 2020, I had a very poignant dream the night before my first class. And me and a few other sisters were the front row of Maliokalani's Mu teachings, Mu Wheel. We were the ones to receive her channelings of this blessed wisdom first. And it's really refined itself over the years, and some of the most powerful teachings that I've experienced led me to being able to be a mother again in a healed fashion. There was a lot of wounds I was healing in regards to even being a stressed out mom and how it affected my kids. And during the process of the New Earth Medicine training, I was able to go deep into my shadows through the ceremonies, the self-exploration we were given. It's like being led on the healer's path to find one's medicine. And in the spiral of looking at all the wounds, hunted all the medicine. And this spiral that we found, our Mu bundle, what we collected in our medicine, not only what we came across in wounding and medicine in this lifetime, but in lifetimes before, all seemed to come together. And it's not that you do these ceremonies and rituals and that you're just instantly healed. It is literally a bundle of your worth, of your medicine you carry with you in the spiral of life, where you're met with the old program, whether it's within ourselves again or out in the world, and that with our medicine we get to face with new eyes, with a new heart, refreshed. And that was one of the greatest medicines I found, along with the sisterhood. And there were immense change I went through deep within myself that I wouldn't have been able to do just alone. And that the sisterhood and the trust and the healing of trust to be held is also my greatest medicine I found. also being able to sing through the pain, sing through the waves, sing in my healing sessions now to vibrate new energy, vibrate new life within myself or others, was the greatest power I found in my voice, and I'm eternally grateful. Just opening sacred space or connecting to the spirit world can be done through our voice, and clearing our wombs, clearing our energy bodies. And the Aloha teachings that Maleokalani embraces and lives by, it's been some of the greatest wisdom teachings to becoming a new mother and a partner. And the thing is that everything is divine. That happens, even the hard stuff. And when we step into our frequency, we make right more right by being present, by being accountable, and by being loving to ourselves and each other. So Maleokalani has been my greatest guide and sister that I've ever met in my lifetimes. And she walks with the trust and lightness, connected to her guides and the spirit world like no other I've ever experienced. It's a great inspiration. And to be able to laugh and play, laugh at the waves, laugh at the depths, laugh at the pile of dishes, to just keep playing in the magic, in the mundane and the mystical, is her greatest gift that she showed me. Along with that, we are whole, and that there's no hierarchy. And the moment we put anybody on a pedestal is the moment we lose our greatness. And that in the sisterhood, we weave together our gifts and we reveal together our magic.
Oh. What do you have to say about it? I love you.
Aloha.
Yeah, so I feel like, as I said, I think I've been on quite a few retreats in the past year, different types. I've been through different modalities and different people's perspectives, and I feel like here we've done what we've done in this week, even though the course is much longer, but what we've done in these 9 days, I feel like with some retreats you can't even do in like months or even a year. And what we've covered on an energetic level, what I've developed with myself, because I always knew I had like some intuitive gifts and some, even last year I just asked, I just need someone to take me to the next level, to show me how to develop those, because I don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to develop them and grow them. And I feel like this place in Mali, I feel like just in those few days, I've developed so much of what I knew inside, but I hadn't really seen it for myself. It's been incredible. It's been, yeah, I just don't have any words. And I didn't know, I kind of booked on before. I don't even think there was a website page for this. I just saw it on Instagram, and it was like, I'm going. And yeah, I came. And it's been, yeah, incredible.
We're so happy you're here. We're so happy you're here and that you're developing your magic, because one thing that they don't prepare us for is for the magic school. It's like we go to education, we go to the academics, we go to all that process, but it's like the soul is yearning to connect deeply, and it knows that there's something more. And so you being here, like receiving these rites and then connecting and allowing that to emerge inside of you, is bringing out your soul's medicine. And it's a mystery.
Yeah.
That's what's so beautiful. It's a mystery. Like we don't really know how it's gonna come into form, but you know that you must follow it, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you've been feeling like today? It's like there's something that's stirring inside of me, and I must follow it.
Yeah, and it's always like, what's the next step? And then the next step comes without even realizing it. I didn't know that this school and this course is going to give me the next step, or like take me to the next step. I didn't know what I was putting myself into. But it's kind of, and also with the girls and the other women, it's just been incredible to find people that are on the same path, on the same wavelength, and also to understand that everybody's in the different timelines, but everybody also has different gifts and different ways of expressing their gifts. And it's just been it's been great, but I've always felt held, and we've had the space to develop and to grow both independently but as well in the group, and we've had that freedom and space to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting when the forces come in, because there's a harmonious energy between the sisterhood, but there's also a unique path that each one has, and it's honored, right? But then at the same time, you feel the spirit's energy, like making it, like having a sacred order, you know, with everything. Because we went through some things in the trip, like we got stirred up at our core, you know, like with wounds and with different things that came up. And just to see how women of consciousness, women of magic, women of the heart handle situations, that it's not just, it's really getting out of that story of, in the women of victimhood, right? Or even being a predator, like we have to fight, you know, in order to show our power. Can you say something about that? Because that's like a big code that we were given on this journey. And I feel like it's the new generation code. It's what you're bringing, and the ones before you, you know, of that empowerment.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I feel, so there's two things I want to say that are coming to my mind, but you mentioned the trip that we went on, almost like a pilgrimage, probably. But it was like, I remember on our last day of the trip, I took a picture accidentally, and the oneness we've created in this group, even though everybody's on their own independent journey, but the oneness, like, we tend to stick in this circle. There's that circulating energy around us that we feel with each other, even if we're not in the same room. And it's just, yeah, it's incredible to feel. And about the woman and the way we feel empowered is, yeah, I mean, I think everyone goes through some sort of trauma. In my family, it was always, you had to be the peacemaker, you had to give up basically everything or give yourself up to make others happy. And that's how I ended up showing up in my relationships. And I was always the one compromising, not when you say sacrificing myself, my truth, who I was. I'd pretend to be someone else just to please others and to be approved by them and to keep the peace and to keep the dynamic going. And in a way that always put me in the victim, because I was always the one who would basically stand back on and not stand up for myself, or step back just to let the other have their way. And then, but interestingly enough, then I've always acted that out as a rescuer of other people as well. So whenever someone was in trouble, I'd always step in, or I'd say someone weak, and then I'd be so compassionate because I saw myself in their shoes. And what we've learned here, and I mean, what we learned on the journey, but I feel like it was very well taught in some of the teachings we did here about how to turn those into powers, like how to turn our wounds into powers, but also how to step out of that victim, predator, rescuer, like triangle, and to see it from a bigger perspective. And sometimes our medicine comes from that, because you learn actually to heal someone or to help them heal. You don't actually have to approach them with a predator or victim. It's because that's what's usually what they're expecting or what they've received in the past. It's more, you have to see them through source and through love, and that's what they least expect, and that's what hits them deep. And that's what heals them, because no one's ever approached them with that perspective of love. And that's what heals people, not showing up as what they expect you to show up, be it the victim or the rescuer, or because then they see themselves, whatever they've suffered, in you, and then they get a validation for their wound rather than a healing for their wound. So it's been very, it's been wow, but very eye-opening. And I feel like just put everything I've been learning and developing like together, and yeah, it's just, yeah.
Wow.
The New Earth Medicine Woman program and the Sacred Woman School have been amazing. I am so grateful for my journey in the program and becoming a New Earth Medicine Woman. I had followed Mally and the Sacred Woman School on social media, as well as had a few acquaintances that had been to retreat and ceremonies with her. And I heard such great things. In the first offering of the New Earth Medicine Woman, I had a big desire to join, but it didn't happen in that timing. And I was getting a pull that I needed to be in a space where I could be myself and explore what I was desiring to come forth through my journey. And after I did my discovery call with Mally and getting more information about the program, and it just felt like a right fit for everything I was seeking at that moment. And when I said yes to the New Earth Medicine Woman program, I lit up inside and was very excited for what was to come through. I'm so grateful I said yes to myself and trusting it was where I needed to be at that time. The New Earth Medicine Woman helped me to shed a lot of old beliefs, but the primary one was limitation. Just limitation of not allowing myself to expand or empower myself, and it showed up in so many different areas in my life. And I've learned as a result to surrender to being limitless. I surrender to let the reins of control go. And every time I've trusted this and done so in obedience, especially in difficult situations, I am shown truth. There is no limitation, but a process and perhaps a gift or lesson that is unfolding for my good. And also, as a New Earth Medicine Woman, prior to joining the New Earth Medicine Woman, I kept feeling stuck and as if I were needing to be in some different environments. I knew I needed to shift and change to continue unlocking my soul gifts. I had done a lot of spiritual journeying, but I was hiding from myself and who I am becoming. The more I tried to hide and only let myself really be in certain situations, the more my true self would come out, and I could no longer hide my gifts. And in allowing myself to be and connecting to the beloved within, I get to be all of myself, and I know I'm fine. There is a place and space for all of me and my gifts, and I've received much more expansion and awareness through all the soul gifts to flow freely since completing this program. And what I really love about the teachings in this program is that the journey is experiential and an integrative process that builds and evolves. I love that Mally is a beautiful channel and allows the guides to share their wisdom through her. I love that she teaches and guides us in connecting and trusting our divine support and guides in our work, whether it is for a ceremony, a healing session, or a channel teaching, or just being in circle with sisters, and even our medicine flows through us as we're in others' presence. I love Molly's upbeat and radiant nurturing spirit. I love that her teachings are simple and yet so profound, especially when the action is taken upon receiving the teaching. The New Earth Medicine Woman training gifted me so many things, but the biggest gift I have received and been awakened in is that I am an amazing creatrix in my reality, life, and world. I am one with creation. My life is a living prayer. I am the scribe in my story. I am the priestess for myself and others. I am a weaver. I am an oracle and seer. and I am much more than I've ever been told or taught to be. I am here to experience myself, walk my path, and witness it unfolding. And I've released so many wounds that have turned into power for me through this magnificent process in becoming a New Earth Medicine woman. I released a big wound of rejection. And I realized I'm not being rejected, but redirected, protected, and guided to the people, places, and things that are best for me. I'm remembering the home within and finding it around me and getting to experience what feeling at home really is. So I'm not being rejected in any way, just redirected and guided to where I'm needed and what is most supportive and beneficial for me. And this process has helped me through a challenging and revealing moment that came up for me during the training. And this came up during the last portion of the training when we started our initiation and we were headed into the ceremony for the beloved within. And a lot of things came up. Even people were used as catalysts for me to journey, to deepen, and go further in myself. And it was almost to the point where I was feeling pushed out of places and really wanted to be in that place of being a victim. But I had so much support from Molly, Akasha, and my sisters. And I kept journeying through the difficulties only to discover it was just a past life experience, a story I had been predisposed to prior to coming into this world. And it was also a huge witch's wound. And I got to change all of it. And I'm on the other side of it, glowing and growing. And I'm so grateful to the process, to the teachings, to be in a circle with such amazing women that are part of the Sacred Woman School and the New Earth Medicine Woman program. I'm so grateful for all the shifts, changes, growth, and transformation that were held in these 8 months of that journey. And there was so much magic and transformation and growth, so many seeds that have been sown that I know that will continue to bless me further and further. And I can't wait to experience what is unfolding for me. And I'm truly grateful.
My name is Ashley Rodriguez, and I went through the New Earth Medicine Woman Master Program. One of the old beliefs that I had that was not allowing me to expand and empower myself was that I believed that I was not good enough and that I was not worthy enough. And by going through this program, I was able to learn tools to help me tap into my own power, my own wisdom, and broaden my own worth. I needed things to change because I knew that I had a lot of wisdom within me, right? But with that belief of I'm not worthy or this and that, and also seeing other women that I aspired to, that I wanted to do the same things that they were doing. I wanted to hold ceremonies. I wanted to hold healings. I wanted to hold women's circles. At one point, I just thought, okay, if that's what I aspire to, and that's what I would like to experience in my life, what is really holding me back from unlocking my gifts and doing that? So I saw that the Sacred Woman School was something that was offering a master program to learn about womb wisdom, to learn about shamanic circle facilitation, to learn about the moon wheel. And at that time, I didn't know what the moon wheel was, but I was down for it all. I was down to be in a supportive environment that was able to help me and nurture me as I was given tools and taught tools to expand into who I wanted to be, who I aspired to be. And all of the teachings that we received in the Sacred Woman School were just magical and ethereal in nature. The cohort that I was a part of, there was an energy. There was a beautiful symbiosis of all of us that were in that same cohort. And whenever we met together and we did classes, that's the source that channeled all of the teachings, as well as Mali's knowledge and her wisdom. And she shared her initiation stories with us. And through the web that we all weave together, we were able to learn the things that we learned. And it was all magical and all powerful. And that was part of remembering how we all do, in fact, have a gift. And how we do, in fact, have power. And if we all aspired to be a women's circle facilitator, a womb practitioner, an Akashic records holder, it's because we have that within us. So with all of the seeds that we all had, and we were all nurturing it together every single week by showing up, by communicating, by practicing, we were able to pour into each other's cups and flourish in the same garden, in the same bush. Mali is an amazing guide because she's able to see your soul. She's able to channel what needs to be heard. She's able to give you practical steps and spiritual steps, right? Mystical steps to move forward. And she has a lot of wisdom. She is a pure channel, a pure channel. And the experience and awakening that the New Earth Medicine Woman training gifted me is for me to find my own power, for me to see the limiting beliefs that I had and how can I face them. It gave me courage. It gave me bravery. It gave me strength to face the unknown and to know, again, that if I aspire to do something or be someone, it's because that seed's already planted in my soul. And all I have to do is just take a step forward and nurture it, whether it's to a land of the unknown or a land that I do know. The medicine of my soul is that of authenticity, is that of you being clear of what is it that you want and fully immersing yourself in that, because that is your heart's desire. And by being authentic, you tap into your heart's desire, which is what you came here to do, to experience life from your heart, from your womb, from your soul. And the wounds that I turned into my power are my expression and my voice. I was just thinking about this literally earlier today. There have been times when I would stand in front of a group of women and I didn't know what to say because I didn't have the confidence in speaking. And now I lead women's circles and I channel, right? Because before I didn't consciously want to. I didn't want to open up my voice to be able to speak what needed to be said through a channeling experience. And now I do. And I've turned that wound that I have of expression into my power to share wisdom, to share healing, to share messages to others. And the most challenging moment in the training was actually when we were done with the training for me, because I was out of that container, right? I was out of that womb and I was birthed into life after this experience. And I needed to integrate everything, and I just wanted to do. So for me, the hardest part of the training was actually once we were done, because now it's like, okay, so now that I have all of these tools, now it's my time to choose. Am I going to move forward and integrate all the teachings that I've learned to better my life? Or am I going to fall into the same patterns from before? And that for me was what changed my life, and me choosing myself, choosing my goals, choosing my dreams over choosing comfort.